Today we have an unboxing video of Love Letter by Aldrich Entertainment Group. Hi, I'm Kevin Baker, and you're watching Shangri-La, my YouTube channel for tabletop board games, birding, and other educational videos. Please like and subscribe as this video is not sponsored by anyone. Okay, well this version of Love Letter was given to me as a present for being in a wedding party, which is why even though I've had it for a very long time, it's still completely wrapped in its original packaging. And Love Letter is an excellent game. It's pretty fast, goes several rounds, and you're trying to win the heart of the princess. But the reason I never opened it, and I'm not actually going to open it today, is because I had my own version of Love Letter, the Archer, Once You Go Blackmail, a Love Letter game. Okay, so since I had this version, there was no reason to open up the wedding gift version. So, in this version, instead of plain white cubes, you have little dolphins. So the first person to collect 3 dolphins wins the game. Okay. And so the objective, Mallory Archer has spent her life in the midst of covert operations as both a secret agent and a CEO of her own spy agency. She has a list of enemies longer than adjectives used to describe her: vain, selfish, lying, self-centered, and materialistic being but a few. Your mission, infiltrate those closest to Mallory Archer and uncover intel from her walk-in sized closet of skeletons that can then be used for nefarious intent. To complete the task, you'll need to cozy up to field agents, a former controller, a loquacious secretary, a discordant director of human resources, and a mad scientist. If you are the last spy standing, or holding the card with the highest number at the end of the round, you'll have successfully pumped Mallory for information, and you get to gain an intel token of a little cute dolphin. Okay, so that is the Archer version of Love Letter, and played it a whole bunch of times, so I actually sleeved the cards. And I mean, it has 8 different possible roles. So Mallory, when you play Mallory, you lose this if it's discarded. Lana Kane is the next highest at 7. So you collect all the players' cards and hidden identity cards and shuffle and redeal. And then Ray Gillette. One player discards his or her hand and replaces with a hidden identity card. Pam Poovey. One player discards his or her hand. Cheryl or Carol Tunt. Protection until your next turn. Or look at the hidden identity card. There's always one card that is separate, that is not part of it. So there's always some mystery about which cards are left. Okay, Cyril Figgis, you get to compare hands, and the lower one is out. Dr. Krieger, you can guess the hidden identity card. And Sterling Archer, he's the number 1. And that allows you to guess a card in a player's hand. And if you guess correctly, you knock them out. And so that's why there's the cards, the written numbers on them. So 1 through 8. There's a bunch of Sterlings, some Dr. Kriegers, Cyril Figgis, more Archers, Miss Tunt, the Pam Boovey, Ray Gillette, and Lana Kane. And they've got the instructions on each card, so each person is going to, in their turn, will take a card off of the deck, then they'll have 2 cards in their hand, then they've got to play one of those 2 cards. And the instructions for what happens when you play the card is on each card, which makes it very easy. You don't have to memorize a whole ton of rules. Oops. A couple more. Another Dr. Krieger, another Cyril Figgis, and the boss, Mallory Archer. And so that is Archer Love Letter. But wait, there's more. Put these aside. The nice dolphins. Okay, so there's also an instruction so you can figure out by process of elimination when you're making a guess what has already gone, because once cards are played, they're face up around the table. So my latest edition, and this will be added to the FlaMinGoCon Library since I purchased this myself, is Star Wars Jabba's Palace. This is basically plays like Love Letter. So it is a love letter game. So, there will be no bargain. Descend into the lair of the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt in this quick card game of risk and deduction. Use the skills of the heroes of the Rebel Alliance and palace denizens to defeat your foes and carry out your agenda. 29 cards, 13 victory tokens, a rule book, and a cloth bag. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's put this aside here. So, nice bag. You can see there's Jabba's palace on Tatooine with the 2 suns. That's why good hint that it is Tatooine. So let's see what we have in here. Okay. 1 empty bag. Here's the quick reference and rule book. Very conveniently sized. Instead of dolphins, we've got some very nice tokens that also have Jabba's palace on each one. Okay. So, in the other versions of Love Letter, so there are not that many cards. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards. Okay, let's see how many we have in this one. Stays with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, these are completely different. Those are not numbered cards. They are a separate part of the game. We also have instruction sheets for all the different players. Instead of just 1 through 8, we have 1 through 8, but it's separated into good guys, the Rebel Alliance, and the bad guys. They are still 1 through 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so we got just a little bit more. So now there's a 0 card. That is Han Solo. So at the end of the round, if you have this in your hand, you gain a victory token no matter what. So even though it's got to survive to get a victory token and be the highest, or in this one, if you have a 0, which is actually the lowest, you still win a token if you have Han Solo. That's very nice. At the 1 level, you have your choice of C-3PO on the good side, and you have guards on the bad side. Now C-3PO, you get to choose another player and guess a number. If they have that number in their hand, they are out. If not, they do the same to you. So you get to guess, but if you don't guess correctly, they get a chance to try to knock you out. So that's interesting. The guards don't have that limitation. You get to choose another player and guess a number. If they have that number, they're out. So that is on, there's the good side. You have the evil side. Slightly more evil is the Salacious Crumb, a favorite of the Star Wars characters. Really good laugh. Okay. Salacious Crumb gets to choose another player and look at their hand. So if you know what somebody has, then you have one of the number 1 cards. You can guess their card and knock them out of the round. Also at number 2 is R2-D2 in his setup where he's serving drinks on one of Jabba's barges. Okay, so you can look at either the face-down set-aside cards, that's the one card that was taken out and is not part of the draw pile, to leave some mystery in the guessing, or you can choose another player and look at their hand. So you can get information by looking at somebody else's hand. Okay. So then at the 3 level, on the good guy's side, you have Chewbacca. Choose another player. If they have the evil symbol of 4 or less in their hand, then they are out. So if they are evil and they have Bib Fortuna, the mercenary, Salacious Crumb, or the guard, then they get knocked out. The mercenary gets to choose another player and secretly compare hands. Whoever has the lower number is out. So you can use that if you think you've got a pretty good card in your hand. You can knock out other players. At the 4 level, we have on the evil side, Bib Fortuna. Until your next turn, you cannot choose, players cannot choose you for their card effects. So basically, that is the same as the 4 level and regular love letter, where it protects you for a round. Okay, on the good side, you have Lando Calrissian. Choose another player and look at their hand, and then you may trade hands with them. So that is interesting. If you do that, and you'll know what they have, and so if you don't choose then to switch hands, then that gives them some information of how strong your other hand was. If you do switch, then they know exactly what you had and what you have now, so that is also very risky. At the 5 level, we have Leia Organa. Leia lets you draw 2 cards from the deck, keep 1 card, and put the other 2 at the bottom of the deck in any order. So once the deck runs out, and you will go through the whole deck if you don't knock everybody out sooner, then you'll know what the last 2 cards are, so you can have information about what somebody else has at the end. There's also, at the 5 level, is Boba Fett. Choose another player and take the card from their hand and place it in your area of play, your play area. So with Boba Fett, you'll take somebody's hand, you'll put it in front of you, and then they get to redraw and have another card in their hand. So you may accidentally help them. At the 6th level, and this is a fun one, I really like this one, is the Rancor, which everyone should have a Rancor for a pet. Okay, so when somebody plays the Rancor, all players with the lowest number in hand except 0 are out. Count up out loud from 1, starting to find the lowest. So you play the Rancor and then say, okay, anybody have a 1? And if somebody has a 1, then they're out. If somebody has a 2, if nobody had a 1, then they're out. Nobody has a 1 or 2 and somebody has a 3, then they're out. So that's a fun one. Okay. Then we have Luke Skywalker. choose another player. If they have an evil character in their hand, then they are out. So you may want to try to hold Luke Skywalker to have the high card at the end, or you can use it to knock out another player if you have another good card. And the most powerful of the bunch is Jabba the Hutt. Choose another player if they have a Rebel Alliance character, a good guy in their hand, then they're out. So if you play Jabba, then you can knock out one of the good guys. Okay. But there are also different win conditions that can get added into a game to add some more interest in the game. So you basically shuffle these up and deal one that will apply for the whole rest of the game. There is the Exalted One. So the highest number in hand wins the round. So that's one possible win scenario. Or My Kind of Scum, which is the highest number good guy and bad guy in hand both win the round. So you can have two winners. Or you can have Jabba's Court, the highest sum of bad guys in play area win the round. So that's interesting. So this would encourage you to play all of the bad characters and get them, and you get your highest sum total out there. That's a new wrinkle, I like that. Or the Rescue Mission, the most good guys in play win the round. So the person that plays the most of the good guys will be the winner. So that is pretty cool. And so that is the Jabba's Palace love letter version. A nice little twist. So it's now my third version of love letter. Okay, so our next FlaMinGoCon will be June 7th, 2025 in Delray Beach, Florida at the South County Civic Center. Hope to see you there. If you're a game designer and want to give away one of your games as a play to win, please reach out. There's also another interesting event coming up for the entire month of April. My Bird in Flight photographic art will have a solo exhibit at the Lake Park Library. So please come and check it out. It's open 6 days a week. It's closed on Sundays. But come on out and see some of my Bird in Flight photographic art. Okay, hope to see you all in person at the next FlaMinGoCon. Be well.